Happy Monday, and it's Monday, and you know what that means. It means we're going to take a look at everything you missed in last Friday's version of the Weekly. We got Spider-Man working roadside assistance on an Arkansas highway, an $8 billion sub, and, well, a New York school learning why they should actually Google the company behind their $60,000 Robo-Teacher. Let's get into it.
We started with holiday inventory. I know, it's early August. Nobody wants to think about Christmas yet. But for businesses that depend on holiday sales, December planning starts months before the customers show up. Inventory has to be ordered, suppliers want deposits, freight, storage, packaging, advertising, and seasonal labor all begin draining cash while shoppers are still buying sunscreen. That's the problem. The money goes out now, the revenue may not come back until November or December. In between, payroll and rent continue their impressive streak of never missing a deadline. Our latest post breaks down how to cover that gap without draining the business, why a fast approval can still be an expensive mistake, and when a line of credit, term loan, or another financing option may make sense. If your business relies on holiday sales, take a few minutes and check it out at the Credit Bank blog. December will be here soon enough, mostly because the calendar remains completely indifferent to your preparation.
Now, while retailers are actually spending their whole summer getting ready for December, business travelers, on the other hand, they found a different way to extend their summer and, well, their calendar. They came up with a word. It's called bleisure, and yes, it is an irritating name. However, they're adding vacation time to their work trips. You attend a conference, sit through panels, collect 3 tote bags that you're probably never going to use, and then you stay through Sunday because the hotel has a pool and the return flight, well, it's technically flexible. And check it out, 83% of Americans are now mixing work and leisure, especially Gen Z. They're so committed to it. 2/3 of them are actually doing this on a regular basis, and they're actually taking the chance to upgrade their flight or their hotel. Who knew? Gen Z, they like to vacation right after work. Who knew they wanted to work? Anyway, this market could reach over $1.7 trillion by the end of 2032. So, you know, the I Have a Conference has probably become one of the most profitable sections in travel today.
From extending business trips, we moved to ChatGPT, extending itself further into your personal life. OpenAI would now like access to your medical records. Yep, ChatGPT Health is rolling out to eligible US adults, allowing users to connect Apple Health and supported medical records. The bot can compare lab results, summarize changes since your last appointment, and remember health details across conversations. Useful stuff, but OpenAI says the service is meant to support doctors, not replace them. And that distinction matters, especially after a Florida man claimed guidance from an earlier version delayed treatment for a pulmonary embolism. The case has now become a lawsuit and a reminder that while AI may help you understand your chart, it should not cast the deciding vote on whether a mystery pain deserves medical attention. Medical schools and Jewish grandmothers have both requested a second opinion.
Now, Lou, let's move on from medical charts and talk about stock sandwiches. Yes, Blackstone. They bought a majority stake in Jersey Mike's for about $6 billion early last year, if you could remember. Flash forward 18 months later, they're actually preparing an IPO to hit the stock market with nearly an $8 billion valuation. I don't know about you, Lou, but I've never seen a turnaround that fast, even for private equity. Blackstone actually hired Wingstop's ex-CEO, Charlie Morrison. He came in, he cut expenses, he added hundreds of locations, and he also removed a $41 million private jet from the deal. But that cleanup, it came with a side of debt. You see, Blackstone went out and they got another $500 million in debt, bringing Jersey Mike's total up to $2.1 billion and annual interest costs north of $104 million. By doing that, the chain actually increased their locations to around 3,300. And eventually, they believe they can get north of 15,000 Jersey Mike's with overseas expansion. The margins are strong. The growth target, well, it's ambitious, but the debt is a lot heavier than a catering tray.
From a fully loaded sandwich, we move to a fully loaded truck. Ford is expanding its customization business and giving limited edition vehicles the kind of release treatment normally reserved for sneakers. Its first drop is the Bronco Desert Rising. Starting at $57,000, Ford Custom Garage also offers Mustang Performance packages that can top $18,000 and an F-150 package approaching $27,000. Nearly half of Ford's U.S. buyers already customize their vehicles, so the company has made the perfect reasonable decision that it would rather collect that money itself. The upgrades stay under warranty and can be rolled into the monthly payment. That makes it much easier to buy more horsepower and much harder to explain what it actually costs without using the phrase per month.
So Lou, last week I wrote an article over in the Money Minute, and I asked business owners, what's the first question that you ask when you're looking for capital? What do you think it was, Lou?
What's the rate? How much can I get?
How much can I get? How much can I get? That is the wrong answer to the wrong question. The better questions are, what is the money for? When's it needed? And what will the payment do to my cash flow? Lou, how many times do we see a business owner ask for $250,000 when $75,000 solves the problem?
Opportunity cost and what's the use of proceeds, right? If that money is going to 2x, 3x your revenue, go for it. But if you're just plugging a hole, don't do it, man.
Taking a larger amount doesn't always make it a smart plan. It just means a bigger payment. And Lou, if you remember back on our podcast last week with Mark, that question came back up. He was the chief revenue officer over at HubSpot, and now he's a Harvard Business School professor. What did Mark say, Lou?
That's a good point. Good memory. Mark said good selling is not about convincing everyone to buy. It is about asking enough questions to determine whether they should buy at all.
As shocking of a concept as that might sound, especially in an industry where you hear congratulations, you're approved, is often said before anybody is asked, what is the money for? Sometimes the right move is borrowing less. Sometimes it's waiting, and sometimes the smartest deal is the one that you don't sign.
And Matt, I know you've been waiting all weekend for this. Finally, some quick hits from around the web, where quality control remains largely ceremonial. In Mexico, a priest blessed festival goers using a pressure washer filled with holy water. The crowd laughed and cheered, while anyone standing near the front presumably received enough blessing to last through several future visits. Nothing says peace be with you like taking holy water to the chest from 20 feet away.
That's amazing. But Lou, did you see what happened over in Arkansas? A traffic camera caught a man dressed, and I'm not making this shit up, he caught a guy dressed as Spider-Man trying to help somebody alongside a busy highway. Now, normally, if I see Spider-Man pulling over, jumping out of a car, I think that would cause more traffic and more problems than it would actually solve. This time, though, Spider-Man was actually a responsible adult.
There are superheroes out there. And in New York, a school district paused plans to buy a $60,000 humanoid AI tutor after parents learned the manufacturer had corporate ties to a sex robot company. Officials insist Sally was built strictly for education. That may be completely true, but it's still one hell of a detail to leave out of the school board presentation.
All right, that's the week. If you want more of these stories, read the full articles over on our Substack. Go to our blog, check out our holiday inventory post, and catch all our conversations anywhere you listen to podcasts on the Liquid Lunch Project. Until next time, keep your cash flow healthy and your robot teachers thoroughly vetted.